Hello, America. It's Bianca, GOP Girl with Clean TV Live and True News for President Trump. Is anyone out there? Anyone? Anyone? I see it's building me an audience, so maybe I'll wait until a couple of you show up. Say hi so that I know that you're there, okay? Because I have a lot to say. Hollywood, I'm sick of you. Yes, I am so sick of you. Last night, everyone, I don't know. I don't watch the SAG Awards. I don't watch the Oscars. I don't watch any of the Hollywood award shows. Why? Because they're all a bunch of liberal imbeciles that know nothing of what they're talking about. However, today I was told, today I was asked, did you watch the Hollywood SAG Awards last night? Because it made me so angry. I said, no, that's why I don't watch it anymore. I don't watch those shows because I do not care to see anything that these people have to say, because it's not going to be about acting. It's going to be about politics. So let's get into last night, because I watched what I was told about, so I watched it. Yes, we had, what's her name? I mean, she's like a has-been, but I guess she won an award. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Can't even figure out how to pronounce her name. She came out saying that the Russians didn't hack her, and she won her award. And after that, we had, or before that, or after that, we had Ashton Kutcher. And he said that this is all about Trump's executive order on Friday that is temporarily banning certain Muslims. And so we had Ashton Kutcher say, this isn't my America. Well, Ashton Kutcher, you're right. This isn't your America. It's everyone's America. And you know what? The country voted for President Trump to be president. And we stand behind him and his executive order, every single one of them, including the one he signed Friday. Now let's just get this straight, because there are 50 countries that are predominantly Muslim countries, okay? 50 countries. 50 countries where Muslim is the majority of the people's religion. So President Trump is putting a temporary ban on 7 countries. The countries are a ban on those traveling from Iraq, Iran, Yemen, Sudan, Libya, Somalia. That's for 90 days. Then we have new refugee admissions are suspended for 120 days, and Syrian refugees are banned indefinitely. Okay? Because he wants to have extreme vetting take place before we let anyone in. Now, Hollywood, I have news for you. Guess what? The president is allowed to do this. And President Obama did it back in 2011 for 6 months. He banned all Iraqis. Where were the protesters in front of the White House then? Where was Hollywood then? I didn't hear a peep from them. No, not one word. Why? Because it was Hollywood's beloved Obama. It wasn't Hollywood's favored candidate. All right? So yes, it is the president's right. It is Public Act 414 in the Constitution. It is the president's constitutional right. So for all these Hollywood misinformed imbeciles that don't know anything about the Constitution, this is fact. It is the president's right to ban any and all persons that are a member of an organization that threatens the United States of America and its people. That is fact. Now, the reason why President Trump has put a partial ban on these 7 countries is because these 7 countries harbor terrorists. He didn't ban those coming from Saudi Arabia. He didn't ban those coming from Turkey and so on. No, 7 countries where they harbor terrorists. So Hollywood, if you're gonna mouth off about President Trump's executive order to temporarily ban Muslims coming from certain countries, know what you're talking about, okay? Know what you're talking about. Now, next, I would like to say this. For Madonna, Ashley Judd, Gloria Steinem, for every woman that protested last week, and for Gloria Steinem especially, who said, if President Trump makes Muslims register as Muslims, we will all register as Muslims. Well, you might want to think twice, but for all of you, okay, I dare you, share Madonna, Ashley Judd, Gloria Steinem, all of you that were there, everyone in Hollywood that was at the SAG Awards last night, every one of those women. Those of you that don't agree with President Trump, I dare you to go over to the Mideast. Why don't you go to Libya? Why don't you go to Iraq? Why don't you go to Iran? And why don't you protest Sharia law? I'd like to see you do that. I'd like to see you take to the streets and wear what you wear here. Madonna, I'd like to see you wear those cone things that you wear on your chest in concert. I'd like to see you trot around in the G-string that you had on Twitter, where you told women to march and it was an inappropriate photo. I would like to see all of you march the streets of Muslim countries and march against Sharia law, because Sharia law is what Muslims prefer. And the Muslims that are here in the United States of America, many of them wish to convert America from the Constitution to Sharia law. So you're so hell-bent on marching against President Trump and for your women's rights, why don't you go where they actually need you? Now, you might lose your head after a few moments of marching. You might be buried up to your neck and stoned to death by about 100 Muslim men. But, hey, at least you'd be doing something worthwhile, because at least you'd be protesting us against something that actually exists. So I dare you all to take me up on that. Now, I have just had it. I've had it with Hollywood. I've had it with mainstream media not reporting the truth. These Hollywood actors, you know what they need to have happen? And I don't wish this on anybody, but there was a Swedish woman that was raped, and it was live streamed. It was live streamed on Facebook. She was raped by 6 Muslim men. How would Madonna like her daughter to be raped by 6 Muslim men? Or how about Ashley Judd? Would she like to have her mother raped by 6 Muslim men? Or worse, murdered? Personally, I'd rather be murdered than raped by 6 Muslim men. I mean, either way. But these people, these Hollywood actors, know nothing of what they're talking about. Sharia law threatens the United States of America. Sharia law takes away any and all rights of women. Sharia law says that they should mutilate the women's genitalia. And I was told on Twitter, oh, they don't do that anymore. Yes, they do. Again, I've said it before. Maybe that's why Muslim women look so miserable. People, wake up. Tell your liberal friends that President Trump is doing the right thing. We just had a shooting in Canada. Canada that has vowed to take all of the Muslims that America won't. Well, you know what? If they want them, then fine. And last night, mainstream media tried to hide the fact that the 2 men that were doing the shooting at the mosque were white supremacists. They were not. They were Syrians. They were Syrian refugees. We must support President Trump in his executive order to ban Muslims coming from countries that harbor terrorists. That is the bottom line. It is us or it is them. And there's something to keep in mind, and that is the 5 wealthiest nations in the Mideast refuse to take a 1 Syrian refugee for fear of ISIS, as ISIS has said that they will come in with the Syrian crisis. And President Trump said all during his campaign that it was going to be the biggest Trojan horse that ever took place. It may already be too late for America. There may already be too many here. But it's a start. President Trump's temporary ban, and hopefully a ban until further notice, will keep America safe. Will make America safe again. I lived in Miami where I actually looked eye to eye at Mohammed Atta, who was one of the terrorists in 9/11. Now where I live in South Florida, I have been in the same place as Omar Mateen, who shot up a nightclub in Orlando. His sister lives in West Palm Beach. People, this is serious. And there are even Muslims on television, on Fox News, that have said that what President Trump is doing is the right thing to keep this country safe, as they're afraid of their own people from these nations until they can be properly vetted. Hollywood, I'm sick of you. I no longer watch movies. I no longer go to the movies because you know what? I'm too afraid to go. And secondly, I don't want to support Hollywood, which is a shame for the few conservative actors. All right, I think I've ranted enough. Thank you so much for watching. And please, please speak up for President Trump. He's doing the right thing in this. He's doing what he feels is right to keep Americans safe. And I want a safer America for everyone. Thanks for watching. This is Bianca, GOP Girl with Clean TV Live and True News for President Trump. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.